House Republican leader, and I put that name in quotes, Kevin McCarthy, has failed to secure enough votes from members of his own party to win the job. McCarthy's team has made several new concessions to the conservative hardliners, but it's unclear if that will be enough to win them over. But there are signs that the McCarthy team and its conservative opponents are making progress on a potential deal. And for more on the speaker's race, we are joined by Republican strategist Melik Abdul. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I wonder if this is embarrassing for Republicans, if this is the cost of doing business as Republicans, or if this is just a matter of time and eventually Kevin McCarthy is going to be the speaker anyway, and these folks are just proving a point. What do you think?
So, yes, I do believe that it is a matter of time before Kevin McCarthy is ultimately voted in as speaker. But it's also embarrassing. It's very embarrassing for the Republican Party to have spent the last 2 years with complaints about the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and what we would do once we got back in office. I think that the Republicans, the 20 intransigent Republicans who have held out, they're really blocking the business of a Republican-led House. Many of the things that they talked about that we would be able to do on day one, well, we no longer have a day one. We no longer have a day two. Republicans, unfortunately, will have wasted the very first week that we retook control of the House. And I think it's an embarrassment. And many of those people who are out there supporting those like Byron Donalds, my question to them is, please show me his record of at least legislative or leadership accomplishment.
Well, let me ask you about Byron Donalds, because I think very few people outside of Southwest Florida had heard of the man. He's entering his second term as a congressman, and yet he was put forth as Speaker of the House yesterday by the folks that want an alternative to Kevin McCarthy. I wonder if, 2 days ago it was Jim Jordan. Yesterday it was Byron Donalds. Are we going to see another name today that's just an alternative out there to Kevin McCarthy? Or is there some real potential here that Byron Donalds could gain more traction?
If Byron Donalds could gain more traction, Byron Donalds would have already gotten more than 20 seats. 20, we have maybe about 85% of our caucus actually in agreement that Kevin McCarthy should be the leader. But you do have those holdouts. Byron Donalds voted for himself, obviously, but I think I would have rather preferred Byron Donalds followed the same track as a Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan came out and endorsed Kevin McCarthy, and it wasn't just in the first and the second round of votes. I think this is an embarrassment. I think that people need to not only look, if you are going to suggest Byron Donalds, please tell me what it is that Byron Donalds has done in the context of introducing, not sponsoring or co-sponsoring legislation, but introducing legislation. What is Byron Donalds' record as far as leading not his own personal campaign, but the Republican Party itself? I think this is a horrible idea, and those people who are itching for Byron Donalds to become speaker, I don't think that they are the best representatives for the Republican Party nor the conservative movement.
Well, let's talk about those folks. It seems like there are at least 5 really hardcore holdouts on the Republican Party, but 5 is enough to keep Kevin McCarthy from getting to 218 votes. What is it about Kevin McCarthy that has garnered such opposition? Because you just don't see this very often, especially from somebody that hasn't been out there making sort of bomb-throwing statements. Kevin McCarthy doesn't have a huge reputation as being a polarizing character, I think, until this point. But you are the Republican strategist. Maybe I'm wrong. Why do you think there is so much animosity toward McCarthy, that there are so many folks that are willing to hold up Congress to make sure he doesn't become Speaker of the House?
I don't think that there's anything substantive. The things that I've seen, conversations around rule changes and committee assignments, these are things that actually could have been worked out last year. The fact that we regained the House, and these are the discussions that we were having, this is exactly why. And I think Byron Donalds and many of those other Republicans who are out there holding out, they need to realize that this is the thing that the American people do not like. The fact that we don't have a police reform bill is because Democrats decided that because they didn't get 100% of what they liked, then they weren't going to play ball with the Republican bill. This is now happening on the Republican side because these Republicans feel as if because they're not going to get 100% of the things that they want, then they're not going to support Kevin McCarthy. I think that they are an embarrassment, and I think this actually shows that the Republican Party, at least with these 20 members, they're not serious about governing at all. They're serious about the theatrics of politics, but not the governance side.
And that is coming from a Republican strategist. Melik Abdul, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your insight there.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.